There's been a sharp rise in the death toll from the devastating earthquake that hit Haiti on Saturday. Almost 1,300 people are now known to have died. Many more are feared to be trapped under the rubble of collapsed buildings. The epicenter of the 7.2 magnitude quake was 150 kilometers southwest of the capital, Port-au-Prince. Hospitals in the area are inundated and they are struggling to cope with the number of injured, which has almost doubled to around 6,000 people. Medical teams are being sent from Cuba and Ecuador amid concerns about the approach of a tropical storm. James Clayton reports.
It's been a devastating 48 hours for this already impoverished region in the southwest of the country. The earthquake hit in the morning when many were just waking up, and it's hit hard. It rocks churches, hotels and people's homes. The shaking earth too much for structures that collapse in on themselves, sometimes on top of people. Houses that were supposed to be places of safety transformed into death traps.
We've seen many patients that were trauma patients. So we're talking about orthopedic patients and surgical trauma patients. That's for one. So they had to be addressed urgently. Some of them had to be transferred and moved from their locality to more specialized facilities in Port-au-Prince or elsewhere.
The earthquake was bigger than the one that hit Haiti's capital 11 years ago, which killed up to 300,000 people. This earthquake won't compete with that death toll, but there are fears of thousands of deaths.
There are several factors that make the aid mission here difficult. For one, there's a tropical storm just blowing in now. You might be able to see from the clouds behind me. But there's also political turmoil here. The president was assassinated only last month, and many people here believe that the Haitian government simply doesn't have the capacity to deal with a disaster like this.
The route to the affected areas from Haiti's capital is a dangerous road controlled by gangs. Many Haitians too are skeptical of international help after much of the money promised to rebuild the country after 2010 was squandered. With the state of emergency called, the people of Haiti are now waiting, watching to see what their government and the international community can do to help. James Clayton, BBC News, Port-au-Prince.